Here with us today, a very special guest. Pleased to have here with me all the way in Ohio at Central State University. We're here with Colby Brown Sr., defensive backs coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you doing your thing. Congratulations on the new job at Central State University. I know that you coached at other places as well, but
hmm
let's talk about, your new job, the HBCU, and what that means to you.
Definitely, man. Well, I got hired here on May 10th. So I've been here about 2 months now. Just a new coaching staff. New players, just a new place. Coming here from Atlanta, so it's a small town, but I can live anywhere. So I've been around, like you said. It's exciting, and it's exciting time to play HBCU football. I feel like this year will be the most watched HBCU football ever, just because of the hype around it, because of the things that, coach has been doing around the nation. I'm blessed to be a part of another HBCU, and it's exciting times around here as well. We're trying to win. All of us coaches are new. All of these coaches are new. We'll be first-year coaches here. We all bring our own swag. We all bring our own, ambition to the game, and we're trying to mix it all together, and we're trying to win some games here.
You talk about, you've had stops at other places and whatnot, and been able to coach football, a football background as well. Being that, it's an HBCU program, I know that it's first year head coaches and whatnot.
Mhm.
What are the goals that you have for the upcoming football season?
We're trying to do better, than what they've done previous. We're trying to come in, like I said, we all coming in, adding our own swag, and especially as far as me, they brought me in to coach a defensive back. So what I can do as far as playing my part is making sure that we are the best, and as far as my group, so that's what I come here to do, man. I try to come and bring the number one secondary, and try to be number one. So I bring that to my group. If every coach bring that to their group, and, we'll win games that way. You know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to do, man. We're not trying to, do nothing out of ordinary, but we're definitely trying to come in and leave our legacy and be rich in tradition. Used to be rich in football. They used to be winning national championships. So it's very impactful here if we come in here and win games. It'll mean a lot, and we know that. So we're definitely trying to do that.
Now, as I mentioned before, big football background history, of course. Started your football career back in 2010, Highland Community College to Louisiana Tech, and you played over there for quite some time, from 2012 to 2014.
Yeah, man. Like you said, coming straight out of high school to JUCO, I just didn't have the grades. It was no excuses. I just didn't get it done in the classroom. Schools didn't really want to deal with me because, my grades was low, my GPA was low. So I had to go JUCO, and spending those 2 years in Kansas, being an 18-year-old kid, to 20 years old, that's a big gap by yourself in Kansas, so I really got to learn a lot about myself, and my passion for the game developed more. I was working harder than ever. And then I started getting recruited, and it went through the roof. I knew that I can do anything. And going JUCO out of high school is great for a lot of people, man. I feel like it really made me who I am. It developed me into a man. My mindset changed. And like I said, I got recruited and I went to Louisiana Tech. Still got a brotherhood with a lot of those guys to this day. And I got my bachelor's degree from there. So, it definitely opened a lot of doors for me. And La Tech was some of the best times of my life. I got to play in the bowl game. I got to play against Auburn, Oklahoma, University of Kansas, NC State. I got to play against a lot of big time schools. I got to play on ESPN a couple of times. So coming from where I'm from, it definitely meant a lot. And that's what I try to bring here, to my guys. All my experiences that I've been a part of, I try to pour it onto these guys and, try to give them the best, here. And that's what we're going to do here as well. But playing wise, this is why I coach, to feel like I'm still a part of it. You don't want to let the game go. And when I'm coaching, I got my cleats on. I'm still a part of the game. My passion runs deep in the game, and playing wise, I definitely take it serious, and I take it serious coaching as well. I still feel like a player right now. I go out there with the guys. I run around. I do the drills with them, so I'm still a player technically, so it feels good.
When did you realize that football was going to be your future career? How would your coaches and teammates best describe you?
I went hard, I went hard. I was strong. I was fast. I went hard, man. And that's how they'll describe me. And I tell my guys all the time, you wanna leave good imprints, you wanna leave places good. These coaches, you're gonna grow up, and these coaches, I network with these coaches now. Same coaches that recruited me, I'm still tight with a lot of my players. They proud of me. I'm proud of them. They come to games. You want to leave places good, man, and you want your teammates to remember you, for something good. I feel like I definitely left my mark with a lot of my guys. Like I said, we were a brotherhood, and we went far at La Tech. We won a lot of games. I still talk to some of the coaches today. Skip Holtz, I got coached by Skip Holtz. I still talk to him sometimes. Like I said, I left a good imprint, man, and hopefully they'll describe me well. If you ever ask somebody, I was a hard worker. I want to be described as a hard worker. I think they'll say that.
I guess for you, you've always had a passion for football growing up.
Definitely, yeah. I used to play in the streets, man. No shoes on as a kid. I was the youngest kid out there playing, with the older kids, and I was good. I was fast, and then I ran track at my elementary school. I ran track. I was the fastest kid in elementary school. So early on, I knew I had a talent for it and a passion for it. It'll get me away from my house. Get you out the house, and then I got into middle school football, and I was pretty good, and I realized, okay, this is definitely going to be something I want to do. And I focused so much on ball that, my grades started slipping in high school because all I cared about was football, so, I look up and I'm failing a couple classes, so you got to find that balance, that's what I would tell these younger guys now. But yeah, definitely growing up, I knew the game of football was going to be my thing. I tried basketball, I was okay. I can play basketball as well, but, it's just something about the game of football. It's taking me around the world now. I've been to Colorado, Kansas. I've been to pretty much every state, whether I'm coached in it or playing in the game. And still, I'm 30 years old right now. It's still going to continue to hopefully take me around the world, definitely in depth to the game.
You talk about you've been all over the world. After you had your playing career at La Tech, you began coaching quite a lot of places. Richwoods High School, entered at Cincinnati Christian High School, Mercer College, South Carolina State. So for you, knowing that you've been able to coach, did you pursue a career in the pro level or somewhere overseas? When did you want to get into coaching?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So after college, I ran I had a pretty good pro day. I ran a 4.40, which is a pretty good time. I got an agent and things like that. So my agent was working with me, man. His name was Michael Hayes. He was pretty good. So he was giving me tryouts to CFL camp. I was doing well at the camps, so I eventually played arena football in Iowa for the Cedar Rapids Titans. I emailed their coach. I sent him my highlights. He had a spot for me. So my experience in arena football, for that year or less than a year, it was crazy, and I was out there with one of my teammates, Devin McKinney, which was great. I was roommates with one of my Louisiana Tech teammates, so we're out here playing arena football in Iowa. We're getting paid. I don't even remember what the checks was, but it was a little bit of money. It was Snowtown, so I got to experience that professional level, and I got cut, so I got to get cut at the professional level, which was, crazy to me because I never got to experience, getting cut before, so that was different for me as well. So, I got cut, pretty sure I lived with my sister at the time. I was sleeping on her couch, still doing tryouts, so sleeping on my sister's couch, still doing tryouts. I did about 7 Canadian Football League tryouts. I was recording them, I was going all out. And then I got a job as an optician selling glasses, giving people eye exams, pre-eye exams and things like that. One of the Canadian teams called me back and said, hey, we might have a spot for you. We might have a spot for you. So I did it again. I dropped everything for football. They told me they might have a spot for me, stay working out. So I did that as well. And then they called me back and told me that the roster was full. So once they told me that the roster was full, I remember emailing every coach in the town. Like you said, I coached at Richwoods High School. So I was living in Illinois at the time. So I emailed all the coaches around the town, all the high school coaches, like, hey, I would love to be a part. How can I get into it? And this coach named Michael Brown, he emailed me back and he told me he had a spot, as a coach. So that's how I potentially got into coaching. I quit my job trying out for this CFL team. I didn't get the job for the CFL team. So I was at square one, and I just wanted to be around ball. So I got into coaching at Richwoods High School. And, those kids really changed my life pretty much. Developed relationships with them. I learned the game of coaching. Like I said, we wasn't even that good. They changed me, and I definitely wanted to coach. I knew that was something I wanted to do. So from there, I emailed every college. I emailed every college pretty much in the country, and Cincinnati emailed me back and told me they had an internship available. At the time, I was fortunate enough to have just filed my taxes, so I moved to Cincinnati and took the internship. And then from the rest there is history. I got to learn the college. Once I got to that college level, even though they didn't pay me nothing, I got to learn the aspects of college ball for those 6 months at the University of Cincinnati, which at the time, it wasn't as hot as they are now. It was that coach's first year. So, I really got to learn that. And then, from there, I developed a passion for college football. I've been chasing it ever since. So now I'm blessed to be here at Central State, which is Ohio. Cincinnati is an hour away. It's back where I started. I'm pretty much back where I started as an intern, which is crazy. It's a blessing, man.
As a coach, What do you think is the hardest part about being a coach? I mean, I know you coach defensive backs, safeties, wide receivers. What do you enjoy about being a coach? What do you find as being the hardest part about coaching?
I enjoy the players. I truly build relationships with my athletes, especially in my group. I want those guys to know they can call me 10 years from now. That's the joy of it because you really bond with these guys. These relationships go far. And that's how my coaches was with me. They really tried to build relationships. So that's the best part of it. You put the players first and you get to watch them graduate. You get to watch them achieve their dreams, while you coach them as hard as you can. And, their dreams are coming to life in front of you. That's the greatest part of it. The toughest part for me, financial part, you don't really make a lot early on at the high school level. Like I said, as an intern, I didn't get paid anything. I moved to Cincinnati from Georgia, so to speak. I didn't make nothing. So, it's the sacrifices you take trying to get to where you're trying to be. Whether you're trying to be the top college coach or whether you just want to be a high school coach, it's going to be, pay cuts. It's going to be sacrifices financially. I think that was the hardest part because you got to make that work. If you want to chase this dream, you definitely got to make it work as best as you can. Some people might have it better than others. Early on, they're not going to really pay that much. So you gotta keep chasing until you strike it into the position you want to be in.
So prior to coming to Central State, you had a chance to coach at South Carolina State. The growth and the development of one of the players that you coached, Decobie Durant.
I just remember him coming into my office, telling me he wanted to play in the NFL all the time. And, we had these talks. He's telling me what he's about to do, telling him, what he has to do, and he just worked towards it. And it's amazing to see how it, came to fruition. Kid came from nothing pretty much, came from prep school, barely was recruited and, he bet on himself. So it's amazing to see when that happens. And, that's my first kid I actually got to coach that touched the NFL, because there's only 1% of kids to ever play in the NFL. 1% of people make it. So to see him get through the cracks, especially at the HBCU level, which is, small schools, to see him get through the cracks at this level, it was amazing. But, as I recall the practices, thing that we actually been through, the kid was desperate. He practiced hard. He believed. You got to believe in the vision, man. You got to actually work towards it. He actually had the film. He had the resume. He played early at South Carolina State, so he was definitely destined. All he had to do was see it through, and man, and he definitely did, and it's amazing to see that. Blessed to be a part of, his career as well, having to coach him, for a little over a year. I only had him for 4 games. He had 8 interceptions. The kid was amazing, so it was amazing to see. I knew he would get drafted, but to see him get to the Rams, get under Jalen Ramsey, one of the best DBs they got out there, he's definitely going to make some noise, and I'm here for it, for sure.
You talk about the growth and the development of him as a player. You talk about yourself having a football background, playing football, being a defensive backs.
I don't know, man. I've been playing DB my whole life. It's like the only position I ever played in football. I didn't play receiver. I didn't play quarterback. I was a DB, my whole life. So I grew up stopping people. I wanted to stop you, from trying to win over me. You're not gonna get over me. I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna show you that I'm dominant. I'm gonna show you that I'm better than you. And you just grow a passion for that, and you grow a passion for defense and stopping teams from trying to score, especially at the defensive back position where you're on the island. You got to stop these wide receivers. It's just you and them. And you hold yourself accountable to that. So I think I just like the me versus you mindset. You're not going to score on me type of mindset, and I bring that to my players. I really pour my passion to them. Like, hey, we're not giving up nothing. It's a defensive mindset. You got to be tough and nasty, man, and that's the mindset I try to bring on the secondary as well. But that's why I love defense, because it's me versus you, and you're not going to score on me, and I'm going to show you that I'm better than you. That's why I like it.
You talk about mindset. You talk about people that have been in your life that have been so influential to you and how you've been influential to them. Who were some of your inspirations or influences in football growing up?
I went to North Clayton High School. We had one of the best players ever to play. When I was in the 9th grade, his name was Morgan Burnett. He was a senior, and I got to play with him, and he made it to the NFL. He broke records at Georgia Tech. He was the best, literally one of the best football players ever in the NFL. So I actually got to play with him for 1 year and actually see him. I got to see it. So that was a blessing to me, because he actually, he's gonna be Hall of Fame. In my book, he's Hall of Fame. The example. He was a standard. We all wanted to be like Morgan Burnett. And later on in my career, I started looking up to Malcolm Jenkins, one of the best safeties ever to play for the Saints. I had these guys on my walls in community college. I used to print out pictures on my walls of these guys and wake up and see them and be like, okay, I gotta get it. I gotta get out of here. So those 2 guys definitely motivated me. My mom especially, she definitely motivated me as well. football aspect, Morgan Burnett, Malcolm Jenkins, the best two to ever do it. I looked up to those guys still to this day.
Now, going back to college, I remember you mentioning earlier you had a chance to play against Auburn and a lot of the top tier colleges and top tier football programs. Any memorable moments or experiences?
Yeah, man. I transferred to La Tech in 2012, and my first college game as a D1 player, we played North Carolina State, NC State, ACC. So it's a big conference. Booing us coming out. I'm coming from a community college where it's probably 500 people come to a game. My first game, it was over 100,000 people in the stadium, so I'm running out to that, and it's just like, it was crazy. I remember my first college play at Louisiana Tech, I made a tackle, play Auburn, and I had my whole family come to that game. My childhood friend, I had over 20 family members come to that game. So they was able to experience that with me, which was crazy. It was sold out. That was the year Auburn won the national championship. They had Nick Marshall at quarterback. So that was nuts. They had one of the best Oklahoma teams. They was number 4 in the nation. And I remember running out there, they had over 100,000 people as well. So I got to play in front of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, coming from where I'm from, and then going to JUCO, playing in front of 500. You just got to keep your dreams alive, and then next thing you know, I'm out here in front of 100,000 people. A lot of times it was a blessing from coming from what I had to do, what I had to overcome to even get to that level, and actually be playing on the field, in front of these people. It was crazy. But the best part was when my family came in and they got to see that. So that was the best part, In my senior night, I remember my uncle being at a game, and I caught an interception, and I ran over to him and pointed at him. That was probably my most memorable moment at Louisiana Tech. Senior night, it was a championship game, and I caught an interception, and my uncle was there, and that was the best, my most memorable moment from football, period.
La Tech, I mean, I know it's different from LSU, but what's it like?
Yeah.
What was it like being at La Tech?
It was D1. It was D1, man. That's what it's like. It's like you made it. Coming from JUCO, which is like the lowest of the lowest, you know what I mean? And then you go to La Tech, where they giving me 3 pairs of cleats. They giving me 3 shoes. They giving me 7 jacket, every single thing that you need. You get an apartment to live in. I'm living in the best place. We eating the best food. We flying, traveling to games. It was great, man. It was college football. I got to experience that in Louisiana, which was great because my uncle he lived in Baton Rouge, so he would come out, I would go to his house, so I had a family member there as well, which was great. He would come to my house and got to develop with the players. He built a relationship with my teammates, which was great. So I think that was one of the best experiences, man. Going from JUCO to D1, you can't even dream about it. And just telling the story, I can't really explain it, but it was, it was definitely crazy experience, man. And we was winning. I got a ring, and my uncle is at my uncle's house. I got a ring, I got a big jersey case with my jersey in it, so you get all those type of things. They make sure you get the best of the best. And I got to play with some of the best players ever. A lot of my teammates got drafted, first round, third round. They're still in the NFL today. I know at least 15 players in the NFL right now, whether coached or played them. Coming from Louisiana Tech, it started there. So, man, it was great. And getting my degree was the best part. I can't leave that out. Getting a bachelor's degree from there, which is a really top-tier school, coming from JUCO, barely graduating high school, like I said, and then going to La Tech, which is a prestigious school, and coming out with a bachelor's degree. That was probably my biggest achievement to this day, because I won't be here if I didn't push through and get my bachelor's degree there. So that was the best thing ever for me, getting that bachelor's degree and all my football experiences.
However, though, I'm sure if your career wasn't in football, I'm sure it probably would have been something in coaching, or maybe it would have been something in sociology, since that's what you got your degree in.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I came there from junior college, and they just put me in sociology. That was a major they put me in, and I just ran with it. I actually love sociology. It's the study of people and how they interact with the environment, and I got to learn a lot about it. And I became a substitute teacher, which was for my degree. I was a substitute teacher when I was coaching high school football, and I became an art teacher. I think my passion was going to always be the game. Somehow it was going to always come back. Like I said, I've been playing in the streets since I was little with no shoes on. It was going to somehow come back, whether playing or coaching. But, I definitely wanted to make a living in football, paid in football. It's a blessing to be able to, take care of my family through this game, which was what I always wanted to do, But now you just want to be the best while doing it. While you're here, you might as well try to be the best, So, yeah, sociology was never going to be the route, but I'm blessed to have got a degree in that field. I'm actually going to take some master's classes here as well at Central State. I'm going to enroll and take some master's classes, in sociology as well. So, I'm still trying to continue my education at 30 years old, being here, set the standard. Yeah, trying to keep it going.
As a coach, what can you say has been the best advice that you've gained from your coaches and being an athlete from the athlete side of it, what do you believe is the greatest challenge that most athletes are going through right now?
First question is the greatest advice I got is to, be where you are. Every coach has dreams of coaching at the biggest schools, making the biggest money. But the best advice I got is to just be where you are, and try to be the best of where you are, learn as much where you are, pour into these kids where you are. And then, your dreams are just going to happen from there. Biggest challenges nowadays with these kids, man, social media to me, with these kids, everybody, is in a race with these kids. These kids, man, they're in competition with everybody. Social media and be popping social media, and that's a challenge we have with these kids nowadays. Everybody want to be famous. But as far as a student athlete, it's the time, balancing your time, because these 16-hour days, we about to roll into camp now. It's going to be long days. Freshmen going to have to learn how to balance their time, balance their energy, what they put their energy in, how they move about when they step on campus, because it's a HBCU. At the HBCU level, it's a lot going on campus. It's easy to get in trouble. Some of the challenges that these kids face being 18, 19, 20, 21, it's tough, for these kids, because it's a lot going on. So you gotta be mature and just know you're a little different. You playing college football and just know you're a little different.
What have been the keys to your success in your career, knowing that you've been just hustling and just grinding? And as far as your future goals and some of the future plans that you want to pursue in your career, let's say after football.
Keys to success, man, I just been grinding. Like you said, I've been, just never quitting, man. You got to never quit. And that's what anything, it's a cliche thing to say, but a lot of times it got hard, and I love the game, but, off the field, things get hard. You got real life situations, but you just never quit, man. And I just want to continue to chase my dreams, I'm keep my dreams alive no matter what I got to do, and that's anybody's key to success. You do whatever you got to do to keep your dreams alive. You make the sacrifices, you take the opportunities when it presents itself. Don't second guess it. Don't be scared. Like I said, I'm coming from Atlanta. I could have been like, no, I don't want to go to Ohio. It's in the middle of nowhere. But no, I jump on these opportunities and I run with it and I try to be the best with it. And those have been my keys to success. I've been taking every opportunity that's presented to me, whether I created it myself or, somebody else created it. I try to be as successful as I can with these opportunities. I got a 4-year-old son, man. I got kids, so I would love to coach him. He's a freaking athlete. He's gonna be a beast, so that's my dream of coaching for the next 10 years, chasing this college dream for the next 10 years, wherever it take me. And I've been setting dreams and goals myself. Oh, I want to coach at this school. I want to coach at this school. But really, man, this game just take you to places you never even thought you'll go, and so I really don't have an agenda. Just letting God really just take me around, and I'm just, wherever he bring me, I know I'm here for a reason. I definitely have dreams of coaching my son one day, 10 years from now, when I'm done coaching and I hang it up and I retire. I want to be a part of his world and be along with his every step of the way in the recruiting process, everything he has to do in academics. So yeah, I want to coach my son. That's my dream for sure.
Wish you all the best at the HBCU. It's going to be an exciting time. I know camp is coming soon.
Thank you, man. If I ever come to Hawaii, we got to link up, man. I'll see you out there one day. I'll probably be out there soon. See you out there, man. I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate it.